young St. Peter's friends, welcome to Time Up Front. Today, I'm in the forest, and this forest is a little bit north of Camp Willabosca. There was a forest fire that went through this forest about 13 years ago. Do you know what happens after a forest fire? Well, first it looks pretty burned and pretty sad. But after the fire, the sun and the rain come and they really soak what's here on the land because there aren't so many trees or leaves to keep the sun out anymore. And there are trees like the jack pine whose seeds are set free after a fire. And there's a cone here that you can see. The seeds were set free even though the cone is burned. And when that happens, they get the sun and the rain and they grow quickly, just like this tree has. And there are blueberry bushes. And you can see one underneath this new jack pine tree. The blueberry bushes are short, but they have deep roots. So when they survive a fire, they are ready to receive also the sun and the rain and to flourish and have more berries, which is good for you and me and the bears. And birds and animals, they might bring seeds from other places as well. And those seeds will grow with the sun and the rain after a fire. And soon the forest becomes new again. It's not exactly the same, but it has the ability to withstand the hard time and use what it has inside itself to grow again. Now, I know that many of you are going through a hard time right now, and school is not going to go back until September, and you are waiting until it's safe to be around your friends to play together again. And I'm sure that all this waiting is very, very hard. But the forest teaches us that we have inside us the strength that we need to get through. We have deep roots of faith, just like that blueberry bush. We have deep roots of faith in God, and that can help us to make our prayers, just like our ancestors, and watch for things that will help us. When our ancestors prayed, they also watched for the good things to help them, the things that were out there answering their prayers. The forest teaches us with seeds too. We don't have cones that pop open, but when hard times come, we use our imagination to create new ways to be. Last weekend, some of us had a s'mores challenge. And that was fun, and it was something that we could do at home and have our parents put the pictures up on Facebook. It doesn't seem like much, but it's something. And I bet you can think of another challenge that we can all take part in too, even though we are still separate. We can still have some kind of fun together. Hard times make us think differently than before. It might feel like things are too hard, but we also have one another for support. It's normal to have bad days when you just feel grumpy and sad. That happens when we miss the old ways. But we also have the heart to then get up again and keep trying, just like the forest after a fire. Today at church, we're celebrating what we call the Feast of the Ascension. It's a story in Luke where we hear about Jesus being with his disciples for a little while after God raised him from the dead. And then one day he told them that he would send the special Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit, to them. And that would help them to carry on his work. And he was going to be residing with God, at one with God. His spirit would be with them, but not his body. And the story said that he was lifted up into the clouds and disappeared. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say that's just weird. And you're going to tell me it's not possible. And you're going to tell me that you can't breathe in the upper atmosphere. And this just doesn't sound right. Well, it does sound pretty strange. And kind of impossible, but it's a mystery. And it's a maybe story. There are many maybe stories in the life of faith. And that's okay. When there's a maybe, we always ask, then why did we keep this story? What is there in the story that we need to think about and to know? Even if it sounds far-fetched. Well, you see, that's a good question. That's one of the most important questions in the life of faith. We look inside the story for what it might teach us. And that's where the fun begins. The story says that when they couldn't see him anymore, the people saw two people dressed in white, kind of like angels, standing there. And they said to the disciples, "What are you doing looking up at the sky? Jesus will return someday." I think it was their way of saying that they could feel sad that Jesus was gone from their eyesight, but they should now use their imagination and their strength to make good things happen, just like when Jesus was with them. In the church, we didn't know that we would have to be apart from each other this long. But we are trying to use our imaginations to see what we can do to help the earth and to help the people around us, even if we can't come close. If you have some ideas, I would love to hear them. How can we let people at church know that we miss them? How can we enjoy the earth and help it? If God has made the jack pine and the poplar and the blueberry plant so strong that they can come through fire, I know that God is helping us too. Hang in there, kids. May God bless you with the strength of a poplar. May God bless you with all the creativity of a jack pine. And may God make you as ready as a blueberry bush to blossom with energy and ideas until we can come together again. Thanks for joining me in the forest. I'll see you next time.